Hi, welcome to the shed. In this episode, we're going to talk about compound meter and more specifically the 6/8 time signature. So in a time signature, the top number tells you how many beats are in a measure. So we have 6/8. The top number tells us there are 6 beats in this measure. The bottom number tells us which type of note receive a count. So if I take this bottom number and I make it the denominator in a fraction and I make the numerator 1, that tells me which note value receives each count. So right now I have the 8th note is getting each one of these numbers. Now here is the one wrinkle in 6/8 and other compound meters. To determine the feel of the meter, you have to look at the beam groupings. Normally, 6/8 is beamed in groups of 3. The first note of each beam grouping is where you actually receive the pulse. So if you're going to look at a metronome marking for 6/8, you don't get a metronome marking for the 8th note. You get a metronome marking for the dotted quarter note. So let's say the dotted quarter note equals 57. That would be where 1 and 4 line up. So let me get the 57 out, and then we can count along with it. So here's 57. And you would get this as 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 is kind of like a dance. That's how I feel it. All right, so this is how you feel 6/8. Now let's do some sample rhythms. So I'm going to give you a 2-measure rhythm here. The trick to filling in counts and circles and getting your notes accurate in a 6/8 time signature is to figure out how many 8th notes go into certain note values. How many 8th notes go into a quarter note? There are 2 8th notes at a quarter note. So you write down 2 8th notes because the 8th note is now receiving the count. So this is 1, 2. This one is 3. There are 3 8th notes in a dotted quarter note, so it would be 4, 5, 6. Write in your circles. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A quarter rest receives 2 8th notes, just like our quarter note did, except I'm not going to circle them because the circle represents sound. 3 and 4, 5, 6. All right, so now let me put my metronome back on. It's on 57, so that's 1 and 4. I'm going to give myself 1 measure count in and clap on 1, 3, 4, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's 6/8.